Hey guys, it's your girl, and today we're diving into something major. Like, this isn't just politics, this is real global drama. So, why is the United States suddenly warming up to Pakistan again? What's going on behind the scenes? And why does it even matter for the rest of the world, especially India? It's not just strategy, it's not just power. It's a whole shift in global influence, and I'm breaking it all down. Get ready, cause I'm not holding back. Let's get into it. Would you like me to write a full Kim style outro too, or maybe turn this into a YouTube style voiceover script with pauses, emojis, or dramatic beats? Sure, here are 5 powerful keynotes for your speech why the U.S. is shifting towards Pakistan again. Short and punchy. Pakistan's geographic position has always been a defining factor in global geopolitics, but in recent years, its strategic value is re-emerging with even greater intensity. Located at the crossroads of South Asia, Central Asia, and the Middle East, Pakistan sits in a location that acts as both a bridge and a buffer between regional powers and conflicts. The United States, which had once distanced itself from Pakistan in favor of India, is now quietly reassessing the advantages that Pakistan's geography offers, especially as the global balance of power begins to shift in new and unpredictable ways. To begin with, Pakistan borders several countries that are central to American foreign policy interests. On one side, it shares a long and porous boundary with Afghanistan, a country the U.S. spent over 2 decades deeply involved in. As the U.S. military withdrew from Afghanistan, Pakistan's role as a regional facilitator or spoiler became more critical. Despite past complications, the U.S. recognizes that any meaningful engagement in post-Taliban Afghanistan cannot happen without at least minimal coordination with Islamabad. Whether it's counterterrorism efforts, humanitarian aid corridors, or intelligence operations, Pakistan's location makes it an indispensable player in the Afghan equation. Next, Pakistan shares a border with Iran, a longtime adversary of the United States. While Washington and Tehran continue to engage in tense diplomacy and proxy stand-offs, Pakistan has maintained a careful balancing act between the two. From a strategic point of view, Pakistan offers the U.S. a rare point of access to observe regional dynamics without being directly embedded. Additionally, in any future negotiations or escalations involving Iran, Pakistan's proximity and influence in the region could prove useful to American diplomacy, especially in scenarios requiring backdoor channels or crisis de-escalation. Another critical geographic feature of Pakistan is its close proximity to China. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor (CPEC), a major component of Beijing's Belt and Road Initiative, runs through Pakistan and culminates at the Gwadar port, a deep-sea port on the Arabian Sea. This port gives China direct access to the Persian Gulf, bypassing longer routes through the South China Sea. The United States is acutely aware of how CPEC is helping China secure its trade routes and project influence. Re-engaging with Pakistan could give Washington better visibility on Chinese activities in the region and offer opportunities to counter Beijing's economic and strategic expansion through partnerships, investment alternatives, and diplomatic engagement. Furthermore, Pakistan also maintains relatively open maritime access to the Arabian Sea, making it a potential ally for naval operations and trade route security. In an era where naval power is becoming increasingly important, especially amid tensions in the Indo-Pacific, access to Pakistan's coastline could offer strategic depth for maritime cooperation. While India continues to bolster its own naval capabilities and assert influence over the Indian Ocean, the U.S. may find it prudent to hedge its bets by ensuring options remain open on the other side of the subcontinent. Internally, Pakistan is also home to several key overland routes connecting Central Asia to the broader South Asian region. These routes are vital for any future energy pipeline projects or trade initiatives that aim to integrate the economies of the region. For the United States, which has long been interested in promoting regional economic cooperation as a path to stability, Pakistan's participation becomes a geographic necessity as the U.S. grapples with new global challenges including climate change, shifting energy dependencies, and rising regional powers. The map takes on renewed importance. Geography is destiny, and Pakistan's place on that map, right at the heart of some of the world's most sensitive fault lines, makes it too strategically significant to overlook. The shift towards Pakistan isn't just about politics or diplomacy. It's about logistics, leverage, and location. India's growing independence on the global stage is significantly reshaping the strategic calculations of the United States, particularly in South Asia. Once seen as a reliable partner in Washington's long-term plans to contain China and maintain a balance of power in Asia, India is increasingly asserting its own agenda, one that doesn't always align with American interests. This evolving stance is leading the U.S. to reassess its partnerships in the region, and as a result, Pakistan is once again emerging as a potential counterbalance. Over the last decade, India has cultivated an image of a sovereign power unwilling to be drawn into binary alliances. It has consistently demonstrated a commitment to a multipolar world where it exercises autonomy in international relations. This is evident in India's participation in multiple and sometimes conflicting strategic platforms. While it is a prominent member of the Quad alliance with the U.S., Japan, and Australia, formed to counter China's growing influence, it is also an active participant in BRICS alongside Russia and China. This dual alignment signals to Washington that India is not willing to fully commit to a Western-led order. India's response to the Russia-Ukraine conflict further emphasized its independent path, while the U.S. and its NATO allies imposed severe sanctions and cut ties with Moscow. India continued purchasing Russian oil at discounted prices and maintained strong diplomatic ties with the Kremlin. This decision underscored a major divergence in values and interests between Washington and New Delhi. The U.S. has grown increasingly frustrated with India's reluctance to toe the Western line on issues involving Russia, human rights, and global security narratives. At the same time, India has grown more self-reliant in defense and technology, reducing its dependence on foreign military suppliers, including the U.S. It has diversified its defense acquisitions, still buying from Russia while also developing indigenous weapons and systems. This shift reduces leverage that the United States previously enjoyed through arms sales and military cooperation. While the U.S. and India conduct joint military exercises and have signed foundational defense agreements, India has maintained strict red lines regarding foreign troop presence, intelligence sharing, and joint operational planning. Economically, India is also prioritizing its own interests over alignment with any single global bloc. Its protectionist policies, refusal to join major trade deals like the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership (RCEP), and push for self-sufficiency under the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative have sometimes put it at odds with the free market ideals promoted by the U.S. Though American tech giants have made significant inroads in India, the Indian government continues to tighten regulations on data localization, e-commerce, and taxation, reflecting a desire to maintain sovereign control over its digital and economic landscape. Culturally and politically, India under the current leadership has moved towards a more nationalistic narrative that prizes historical identity and regional dominance. This has resulted in strained relations with neighboring countries, particularly Pakistan and China, while attempting to assert its primacy in the Indian Ocean and South Asia at large. The United States, recognizing these ambitions, sees a risk in becoming too reliant on a partner that may, in the future, use its leverage to resist alignment with American objectives in global affairs. All of these factors have led American policymakers to seek flexibility. While India remains a critical partner, it is no longer seen as a consistently reliable one. Pakistan, despite its complicated past with the U.S., offers a form of strategic ambiguity that may now be useful. It is less tied to global institutions, more adaptable in its diplomacy, and positioned to offer the U.S. options that India may increasingly deny. As India continues to chart its own independent path, the United States is being forced to diversify its regional partnerships, and Pakistan's value in that equation is rising once again. China's rising influence is reshaping the global order in ways that are forcing the United States to recalibrate its foreign policy, especially in South Asia. Over the past decade, China has made aggressive moves to extend its economic, military, and diplomatic reach, not just in its immediate neighborhood, but across continents. One of the most significant elements of China's global strategy is the Belt and Road Initiative (BRI), a massive infrastructure and investment program aimed at building trade routes and securing geopolitical leverage. Within this framework, Pakistan has emerged as one of China's most strategic partners, primarily through the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor (CPEC), a flagship project of the BRI. CPEC, worth tens of billions of dollars, connects China's western Xinjiang province to the Arabian Sea via Pakistan. This includes highways, railways, pipelines, and the development of Gwadar Port, a deep sea port with massive commercial and military potential. For China, this corridor shortens energy supply routes, bypasses choke points like the Strait of Malacca, and provides a foothold in the Arabian Sea. For the United States, this development is a red flag. It signifies not only China's expanding economic reach, but also its potential to project naval power in a region traditionally dominated by U.S. influence. The growing Chinese footprint in Pakistan presents both a challenge and an opportunity for the U.S. On one hand, Washington sees the deepening China-Pakistan alliance as a strategic threat, especially as it could enable Beijing to establish dual-use infrastructure capable of supporting military operations. On the other hand, the United States also understands that ignoring Pakistan altogether would cede the entire playing field to China. Thus, re-engaging with Pakistan becomes a way to counterbalance China's influence, not necessarily to push China out, but to create a parallel presence and reduce Beijing's monopoly on regional partnerships. China's expanding influence isn't just limited to infrastructure and trade. It is increasingly embedding itself into Pakistan's defense, digital, and political architecture. From supplying advanced weapons and military technology to assisting in cyber infrastructure and surveillance systems, China is entrenching itself into the very fabric of Pakistan's governance and security. This is happening at a time when the United States is becoming more wary of tech-based authoritarian models exported by China, and Pakistan could serve as either a cautionary tale or a strategic partner, depending on how Washington chooses to engage. There is also a growing concern within U.S. intelligence and defense circles that China's presence in Pakistan could evolve into a more overt military alliance. If China were to establish military bases or logistical hubs in Pakistan, especially near Gwadar Port, it would fundamentally shift the naval balance in the Indian Ocean and directly challenge U.S. maritime supremacy. While Pakistan has publicly denied allowing foreign military bases on its soil, the deepening nature of Sino-Pak ties means that such possibilities cannot be entirely ruled out. For Washington, Staying connected with Islamabad is a way to keep lines of communication open, gather intelligence, and possibly prevent a scenario where China enjoys unrestricted strategic dominance in Pakistan. Additionally, the U.S. has to consider the broader regional implications. China's influence is not isolated to Pakistan. It is rising in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, and across Central Asia. However, Pakistan is unique in its size, population, military capabilities, and proximity to key conflict zones like Afghanistan and Iran. Any meaningful attempt to contain or compete with China in Asia must factor Pakistan into the equation. Re-engaging with Islamabad could allow Washington to disrupt China's seamless influence, offer competitive alternatives in trade and infrastructure, and re-establish a level of influence that was lost during the years of disengagement. At a time when China is consolidating alliances and building infrastructure meant to last for generations, the United States cannot afford to ignore key regional players. Pakistan's alignment with China has made it more relevant to U.S. foreign policy than it has been in years. The shifting nature of alliances and growing Chinese dominance are powerful motivations for Washington to return to a more active role in Pakistan, not just as a counterweight, but as a strategic necessity. Pakistan's role in regional stability is becoming increasingly important as South Asia and its surrounding regions undergo significant geopolitical shifts. While Pakistan has historically been viewed through the lens of its complex relationship with terrorism and internal instability, recent developments have highlighted its potential as a stabilizing force, particularly as the global balance of power continues to shift and the United States reassesses its strategic interests. As the U.S. looks for flexible partners in a volatile region, Pakistan's evolving security posture, diplomatic engagements, and strategic positioning are making it an indispensable piece in the broader regional puzzle. The situation in Afghanistan is a primary reason why Pakistan is regaining significance. With the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan, a security vacuum has emerged, and the Taliban's return to power has created uncertainty not only in Kabul but across the region. Pakistan, sharing a 600-kilometer border with Afghanistan, plays a vital role in managing cross-border insurgency, refugee movements, and intelligence operations. Although Pakistan has a long and complicated history with the Taliban, its geographic and political proximity to Afghanistan gives it influence that no other country possesses. The U.S., though cautious, acknowledges that any long-term stability in Afghanistan will require some degree of cooperation with Pakistan, whether for intelligence sharing, border security, or negotiations with various Afghan factions. Beyond Afghanistan, Pakistan has made significant moves to recalibrate its internal and external policies to reduce its association with instability. Over the past few years, it has taken steps to clamp down on extremist groups, improve border management, and enhance counterterrorism operations with the help of both regional and international partners. The Pakistan military, in particular, has launched extensive operations in the tribal regions, aiming to eliminate safe havens for militant groups. These moves, while not without controversy, demonstrate a commitment to stabilizing internal dynamics and improving its international image, something the U.S. has been watching closely. In terms of diplomacy, Pakistan is increasingly presenting itself as a mediator and bridge between conflicting interests. Whether it is facilitating dialogue between the Taliban and the West, or offering to play a neutral role in regional tensions, such as between Iran and Saudi Arabia, Islamabad is attempting to position itself as a responsible and strategic actor. The U.S. which has limited options in a region rife with rivalry and mistrust, sees this as a potential advantage. While Washington may not fully trust Pakistan's motives, the ability to act as a go-between in conflicts where the U.S. cannot operate openly gives Pakistan unique utility. Another factor enhancing Pakistan's role in regional stability is its nuclear capability. As one of the few nuclear-armed states in the world and the only Muslim majority country with nuclear weapons, Pakistan holds a significant deterrent power, while the U.S. has long been concerned about nuclear proliferation and command and control issues in Pakistan. It also understands that Pakistan's military doctrine serves as a check on escalation in its long-standing rivalry with India. In this sense, Pakistan's responsible nuclear stewardship, combined with sustained international engagement, can help prevent open conflict in South Asia, an outcome in everyone's interest, especially the United States. Economic developments are also contributing to Pakistan's stabilizing potential. The country has shown interest in regional trade integration, energy corridors, and infrastructure development. Projects like the Central Asia-South Asia Power Transmission Line, CASA 1000, and connections with Iran and Turkmenistan for gas and electricity show a willingness to act as a regional connector. These economic linkages, if realized, can contribute to long-term peace and stability through mutual dependence and shared prosperity. The U.S., which has historically promoted economic integration as a path to stability, finds Pakistan's evolving role in regional trade to be in alignment with its strategic goals. Pakistan's relationships with both China and the Muslim world also add to its value as a regional stabilizer. While its alliance with China raises concerns in Washington, it also means that Pakistan has the ear of one of the most powerful countries in the world. Similarly, its strong ties with Gulf nations give it soft power influence in Islamic countries where the U.S. often lacks credibility. This dual alignment provides Pakistan with diplomatic leverage that could be useful in crisis prevention, peace talks, or multilateral initiatives led by or supported by the United States.